All right, Madridistas, welcome back to the channel. I wish I had better news for you today, and I'm afraid I don't. Just a quick update. I'm sure some of you have already heard about Courtois. He's injured his knee again, not the same knee, another one. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the injury specifically, but also what I think it means for Courtois and the team going forward. I'll also tell you guys a little bit about Vini, a couple of stories out there I think you should be aware of. And then finally, we're going to talk briefly about this guy, Inaki Angulo, and Barca now trying to file a law. He's just a Real Madrid YouTuber. I'll tell you about him later. But, they're trying to file a lawsuit against him to sort of silence YouTubers out there that say anything at all about Barca. It's pathetic. Just when you thought they couldn't get any lower, they do. But anyway, very sad news today. Let me tell you about it. So let's get started. All right, Madridistas, welcome back. Let's talk about this very, very bad news today. Some of you may have already heard it. So Courtois, in training, managed to damage the meniscus of his other knee. As you know, he had been recovering from an ACL tear, which is the cross ligament, which takes a very long time to heal. But he had also torn his meniscus in that same knee. Well, he was recovering after many months of not being able to play, and then in training manages to tear the meniscus of the other knee. So this is incredibly disappointing. I mean, how the importance of the upcoming match with Man City. He was expected to be ready, so this is very bad news. Now, in terms of the injury itself, it is not entirely uncommon for players that have knee injuries in one knee to see themselves fall to an injury in the other knee. From what I've been told, it's not that uncommon. But this injury, unlike the ACL, which takes a very long time to heal, the meniscus, we expect him. There will be small surgery involved, but we expect him to be back in about 8 weeks. But of course, that basically just it's goodbye to the season. And in a sort of from a broader picture, this is quite concerning because Courtois is 31 years old. He turns 32 in May. So he's not young, obviously very experienced. But I think we have to sort of ask questions as to how he'll be able to come back because, we've discussed on this channel the importance of confidence, psychologically for a goalkeeper, not just in terms of his decision making, but also confidence in his own body. So it's, this is very disconcerting. He'll be 32 next season. I think he has a contract until 2026. But I think this, calls into question sort of what form he might be in when he comes back, considering his age and sort of the impact psychologically that this could have. So very, very bad news. Look, Lunin has been doing a better job lately, and he's gaining in confidence and has performed pretty well. So I'm sure Real Madrid will try to lock Lunin down now, because we need him more than ever. And bringing in a goalkeeper from the outside like we did with Kepa turned out to be, disappointing. So I think we're going to work with Lunin and try to lock him in, make sure he doesn't go anywhere. But this is, terrible news, especially ahead of the City match. So anyway, very bad news. I'm sorry to have to give it to you if you didn't hear it before. Okay, a couple of stories about Vini I wanted to tell you guys about. So there was an article in Football 365, which is sort of an online publication, suggesting that Man United were about to make a very big bid for Vini, that somehow Real Madrid is really upset with his antics and all the unnecessary yellow cards. So I honestly have been thinking about this. I honestly think it's clickbait. Vini, is very, very loved by the club. His form is improving every year. He seems to get stronger and better, and he's a very loved player in this club. So honestly, if you hear these rumors, I think they're clickbait. So I didn't want to give too much importance to that, but I wanted to make you aware of it. Okay, another story regarding Vini. In the previous match, Real Madrid just found out that there were plenty of racial, chants and insults thrown at Vini. The Real Madrid players actually went to the ref and they told him, look what's happening, can you do something about this? Not only did the ref not do anything about it, but when he wrote his report after the match, he didn't even mention it. So Real Madrid is very upset that the issue was entirely ignored by the ref, because there are rules in place to control this sort of behavior by the crowd. But the ref ignored it completely, and Real Madrid has filed a complaint with the ref, the committee of the referees in Spain, complaining about this issue. But it's just one more story that kind of confirms this crusade against Vini that is just so unnecessary and disappointing. But anyway, this remains an ongoing concern. Okay, the third story I wanted to tell you about, and it's been pretty quiet the last couple of days, but if you saw my intro video, there are a lot of YouTubers here in Spain that I follow. Obviously, they do everything in Spanish, but there's a guy called Inaki Angulo, who is sort of I would say the godfather of Real Madrid YouTubers. I'm a big fan of his. Very informative guy. Great former journalist. He obviously has been critical of Barca because the Negreira scandal, etc. And Barca has now decided to try to silence him, to try to intimidate him with a lawsuit. So they filed a lawsuit against him. He's made it very clear that he's not backing down from anything he said. So, hats off to Inaki. But I think it's just, one more sign of, how pathetic, this club can be, how petty. And, just when you thought Barca could not get any lower, they always manage to surprise us. It's really, truly pathetic. Apparently, there's a campaign to go after other Real Madrid YouTubers, etc. It's completely ridiculous. But I wanted to give you guys a bit of flavor on sort of the ongoing nonsense that takes on in Spain and in La Liga. But listen, I took a couple of days off because there was very little going on. But if anything else of interest comes up, I'll pass it on. But I just wanted to give you guys these updates. Okay. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys on the next video. A la Madrid.